how happy is Kirby Smart to get the win and get something he can yell at his team about?
Because he doesn't yell at him about driving.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, 106 miles an hour this time? I mean, to be fair, it's just because the Athens police are pulling him over just more often, you know what I mean? It's like if you go from town to town, these guys are driving 100 miles an hour on these streets everywhere you go. It's only the Athens police who are actually enforcing the law.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's,
Apparently,
that's what I'm told.
Georgia looked not good.
Yeah.
Looked kind of slow, which goes against what, been happening on the
No, but
street.
like from the beginning, wasn't good.
No, Carson Beck was terrible tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah. They were just, that was,
they didn't play well. I mean, this is like that's what you've got to wrestle. Like they are still a very, very good team. They didn't play well.
yeah, like the weird thing is like Georgia has had games like this where they kind of just sleepwalk through the first half and then they would come out in the second half and bury the team. And I kept waiting for them to just like bury Kentucky, but it just never happened. It was a very out of character performance for them.
Yeah. They flashed the graphic on the screen. Like, look how many points Georgia scored at Kentucky. Like, I don't think that this falls. I don't categorize this result as being like what Georgia does at Kentucky. I thought that Georgia did not play well, and so, well, what would they get to? They're off next week, and then Alabama.
You think that's what it was? They were already on their bye, getting ready for Bama.
I thought Kentucky kept them out of rhythm pretty well. I mean, Kentucky
Offensively?
they had no explosive plays tonight.
No.
I mean, Kentucky was in a phone booth the entire night, but they were like 9 of 15, 9 of 16 on third down, and they played super slow. They had like 35 minutes of possession.
Mm-hmm.
So take a look at this. Long rush was a Vandegrift scramble for 17. Long pass is 18 yards, but like not that many balls hit the ground. 14 incomplete passes out of 73 plays. So, I mean, you're thinking like the clock is running 59 snaps for Kentucky. Like that's just not a lot of snaps for Georgia to have the football. And if you're a little bit off, even if Kentucky's never really a real threat to win the game, which it didn't really look to me like they truly were up until maybe very late. But then again, I wonder if Georgia just turns it on if they're actually down super late. They are still possessing the football and playing keep away from you. And this is sort of how upsets happen. But like, how many drives did we have in this game? It couldn't have been what 10?
Well, that was the game plan.
10 by
7,
each
8,
team.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10. Right. Like that's 3 or 4 years ago, that'd be a pretty low number. Now that we're playing more of like an NFL pace in the college game because more teams use the headset stuff. They go down to the clock longer. Some of the clock rules have changed. You get a couple extra first downs on third down, like some manageable third downs. You convert them. Maybe you go for fourth and get it. You're just playing keep away. And the 54 plays total. That's not a lot of plays. So if you're off a little bit, you're in trouble.
Hey, what's that WPA chart say about Mark Stoops punting?
Yeah, probably not the best punt there, but if Stoops had some buddies that had Kentucky second half, he secured that. I mean, come on, like that's a loser punt. Like I like Mark Stoops a lot.
Yeah,
I think he does a great job at Kentucky. I mean, if he retires after this year, he's going to go down as like one of the very best coaches in Kentucky history. But that's a loser move.
Back to your point about like the possessions and plays. That's all true, but at the same time, Georgia had 3 red zone possessions and only got 1 touchdown out of them. It's like so Georgia had a chance to put this game away, and they just had to keep settling for field goals. And we should give Kentucky's defense some credit for that.
Yeah.
But I just felt watching it that Carson Beck looked really, really off. And he has looked so kind of crisp, even when he's not putting up monster numbers. The throws he does make tend to be good throws. I don't really recall a whole lot of good throws on his part. Even the completions were like behind guys or high or low, and they were able to pull him in. It was one of the most disjointed Georgia performances I can remember.
I totally agree. And like they didn't run the ball like super effectively either. Ratledge went down.
Yeah, I was
with an
going to say, like,
injury.
in a day of injuries where we're going to talk about a lot of them that were very significant, uh, you're watching it start to pile up for Georgia as well.
Mhm.
Tyrion Ingram Dawkins went
Uh-huh.
down. I don't know if he came back in the game, but like that mattered because he was wrecking Kentucky for a little bit. Obviously, they don't have Michael Williams right now, who went down in the Clemson game and will be out for. I mean, what is he going to be back by the Bama game? Maybe, I guess, after the bye week. So like they're starting to kind of pile up a little bit. We knew they were banged up in fall camp. They come out and they're pretty decent against Georgia in the second half, but they didn't look great in the first half against Clemson. Georgia did not. So, um, I guess we'll see what they got, but I still think they're like an awesome team. Just had to come an off night and survived it. Like other teams definitely lose this. Kentucky played hair on fire and really pissed off after they got pantsed by South Carolina last week.